Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what part of the wonderful world you are tuning in from. This is Jesse Brower coming at you live from the tuition-free School of Entrepreneurship show. For those of you who are just tuning in for the first time, I want to let you know why I do this show. Number one, I want to inspire entrepreneurship around the world with a specific focus on the Philippines. As you can see in the background on my green screen, that's the Chocolate Hills. It's a tourist attraction in Bohol, Philippines. I lived in the Philippines for 3 years, and I fell in love with the country. So when I decided I wanted to start teaching entrepreneurship, it was with a focus on the Philippines. Number two, people have been telling me that I have a radio voice all of my life and that I should be doing something like this. I'm doing it, and I'm having a lot of fun. Number three, I get to surround myself with the experts. I get people on this show ranging from e-commerce experts to real estate, trading, all type of different businesses. And I love it. I get to surround myself with experts and I get to learn along with the audience. So that's why I do the show, guys. And eventually this show will morph into some brick and mortar locations in the Philippines. And I'm going to talk about that today. And I'm going to talk about lazy goals. So what is a lazy goal? Well, I'll tell you. It was August 2018 when I decided that I wanted to make $250,000 a month. And I believe it was also August 2018 when I decided I wanted to open schools in the Philippines or sometime around there. And it was going to be tuition-free schools of entrepreneurship. So I knew that I wanted to do this, and I set the goal. I said, I want to be doing this by the time I'm 40. It was going to be like more than 5 years. It was longer than a 5-year plan. And it was going to be, by 2025, I wanted to achieve $250,000 a month income. And I wanted to have my first location of the tuition-free School of Entrepreneurship in the Philippines, a brick and mortar location. So I set the goal for 2025. And I think it was a great goal. It's terrific. But I think it was an absolutely lazy goal as well. Why? Because the timeline. Maybe I wasn't thinking big enough back then to understand that those goals could be achieved much, much quicker than something like 6.5 years, 7 years. Maybe I wasn't thinking big enough to realize that those goals could actually be achieved inside of 1 year's time or 2 years' time. So that's what I wanted to talk to you today about, is lazy goals. Are you setting goals for yourself that are so far out in the future because maybe you don't want to get to work on them today? So it makes you feel really good knowing that you've got this big goal. But because it's so far out in the future, 5, 6, 7 years in the future, you kind of have a little wiggle room not to work on it today, don't you? And that's what I found to be true of both of those goals. The opening of the first location of the tuition-free School of Entrepreneurship physical location in the Philippines and the earning of $250,000 a month. I found it to be true that if I tell myself that I need to achieve this by 2025, that it's absolutely a lazy goal because it gives me too much time to screw around and not work on it today. If I put my nose to the grindstone, I get more clients and more employees, I know that I can achieve that goal within 12 months' time. So now I've moved up the goal to 2021. I want to open the first location of the tuition-free School of Entrepreneurship in the Philippines in Tagbilaran City, Bohol in 2021. I want to have at least one full-time employee there and some computers, some workstations for anybody and everybody in Bohol who wants to come and learn entrepreneurship to be able to come in and do that. And I want to have that location by 2021. maybe even sooner. And at the rate that I'm going with the appointment setting business that I'm running, I believe that if I work smart and I work hard and I continue to hire employees to help me, then I can achieve my financial goals in a whole lot faster time than I had originally set out. So that's what I just wanted to talk to you guys about today, was make sure that if you're setting goals for yourself that seem big to you, don't set them out so far that it becomes a lazy goal and it just allows you all this time to do nothing and say, oh, well, I can do that next week or next month. I have till 2025 to achieve that. Guys, with the internet, you can achieve it in a year. You can achieve it in a year. You can achieve it in 2 years. Whatever that big goal is that you think you want to accomplish, with the internet, with the power of automation, you can achieve it a lot faster. There is no reason to go slow. There is no reason to scale slow. A lot of my born-again Christian friends talk about waiting on God. They talk about being still. Well, I'm here to tell you, I'm a born-again Christian, but I'm not going to be still. Because let me just tell you, in the book of Psalms, I think it was, maybe chapter 40, when it talked about being still, that was not a message from God to his people. That was a message to the enemies of God who are raging against him. So if you're one of God's people and you think you need to be still, you need to wake up, because you're not called to be still. Whenever it says be still and know that I am God, it's not talking to you if you're a believer. That's one of the common misconceptions. It's one of the Christianese sayings that gets twisted in the born-again Christian movement, faith, whatever you want to call it. A lot of times people will say they want to wait on God to find out what they're supposed to do. They want to be still and wait on God. And in all reality, they're being lazy. They're just flat out being lazy. Look, it's spelled out clearly. If you're a Christian, okay, go read the book of Proverbs. It talks about how the little ant, he says, go look at the ant, you sluggard. The ant is working hard without having to be told what to do, storing up for the wintertime or something like that. So bottom line, there's no reason to go slow, folks. Whether you're a Christian, whether you're an atheist, scale fast, scale hard. As long as everything is done ethically, there's no reason to go slow. Okay? You can build a $1 million company so quickly with the internet these days. If you've got a clear offer, and you can just target your audience. It's like with the particular industry that I'm in, there is no ceiling that I have defined. I'm sure there is a real ceiling somewhere there, but I haven't defined it yet. I haven't seen it as far as how many solar systems can be sold in a day. I mean, it's huge. In the United States alone, it's got to be millions of bucks a day. It's a lot. So if I'm not there yet, if I'm not hitting, millions of bucks a day in sales, then I'm nowhere near any actual ceiling that might exist. And there's room to scale. So why not scale fast? Why not get more employees? Why not get more clients and just grow it as quickly as possible? There is no reason why not, other than maybe lazy goals. Maybe you're telling yourself, maybe I've been telling myself, well, I've got till 2025 to achieve my goal of $250,000 a month. So why should I scale too hard? Why should I make myself uncomfortable? And in all reality, all you have to do is be organized, I think. Block out time and say, what, from this time to this time, I'm going to be working. I'm going to take calls from prospects. I'm going to deal with clients from maybe 8 o'clock in the morning or 9 o'clock in the morning till whatever the time might be. Maybe 7 o'clock at night is the last call. And then put the phone on do not disturb mode with an autoresponder. So if somebody calls in, they're going to get a text. If somebody texts in, they're going to get a text. It's not the end of the world that you don't take that call after 7 or 8 o'clock at night. Maybe 7 o'clock, whatever. You can still have your peace and you can still scale your business fast and hard. And you can get employees to help you. So that's the reason, guys, I wanted to do this episode today, is I just wanted to talk about that. How many of you guys have set a goal for yourself that was so far into the future, and if you look at it now, based on what you're hearing me talk about, you realize that it's a lazy goal. It's like, you're saying you're doing it to make yourself feel good about yourself. You want to do that. You want to do that big thing, but you set it out 5 years because that gives you the wiggle room to be lazy now. I think there's no reason why you cannot set a 12-month goal or a 24-month goal that is just as big as people's typical 5-year goal. And I think if you do that, you're more in line with reality because you're going to get something done today instead of saying, well, that's my 5-year goal. I've got plenty of time for that. And then wasting another day and 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 another day. And then guess what? 5 years from now, you didn't achieve it because you never worked on it. I think that's the danger with those long-term goals. It's like, I'm looking at things differently now. It was actually like a 6.5 year goal that I set. Realistically, is now my 1 to 2 year goal. And I think it's awesome. I'm blessed that I've been able to achieve that. And I'm not there yet, but just the idea that I can achieve it that quickly, I think it comes with wisdom and it comes with experience, just knowing that it's out there. But I also think it shows me that I was being super lazy by setting it out so far to begin with. If you just set it out so far, it's like whatever your 5-year goal is, I guess my recommendation to those who are watching is make it a 24-month goal, or maybe even make it a 12-month goal. Don't kill yourself. Like I told you, shut the phone off after 7 or 8 o'clock at night, put an autoresponder on it. So that way they get a text. If they call in, they text in, they're going to get an autoresponder. That way you're still, communicating to them that you care. You can follow up with them the next day. And then go to sleep. Sleep for 8 hours every day. When I'm saying scale hard and fast, I don't mean sacrifice your health. Block out time and just do the things necessary to make your business grow. And then, block out time for other stuff. Be healthy. Spend time with your family. Sleep. All the good stuff. Eat healthy. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what I just wanted to get on here and talk about, guys, was just, if you're setting goals that are way out there, may I challenge you to reevaluate the timeline and make those 5-year goals, those 2-year goals, maybe those 3-year goals, those, 9-month goals, whatever the case may be. Because really in 2020, anything is possible when it comes to making money through the internet, through marketing, through ringless voicemail, through text messaging. If you can spread your net far enough toward people who are wanting to buy something, you can make a lot of money really quick. And there's nothing wrong with that. There is no shame in quick money, guys. Let me just tell you, a lot of my born-again Christian friends like to harp on, get rich quick. Well, let me just tell you, the scripture that they're quoting from, if you go back and you look at the Hebrew, it has nothing to do with time, my friends. Nothing to do with time. Okay, so let me just challenge you on that. There's absolutely nothing that I can find in the Bible, and I'm not a scholar, that would forbid you from making money quickly and scaling fast. And in fact, I could probably make the case that if you're being wise, that's what you should do. If there is people that are going to buy and you can scale, if there's room to scale and you're not, then I don't think you're being wise. So I think you should do it as quickly as possible, as long as you're taking care of your health, you're sleeping. I think you're just being a good steward of the opportunity if you're growing fast. I think you should grow fast. Take good care of your health, block out time, and grow fast. I think there's absolutely no reason not to. As long as everything is done ethically, there's no reason to go slow. You can hit your 5-year goal in 1 year or 2 years. So don't make it a lazy goal, because if you do, you might not achieve it, because you might keep pushing it out saying, hey, I've got 5 years. The next month, you're still thinking, I've got 5 years and all this kind of stuff. How about just get to work and make it happen now? How about just get busy now? Because you can do it. You can absolutely do it. And guys, we can all see what's going on in the world today. We can see how, the powers that be, or whatever you want to call it, are trying to take control and manipulate society into fear. Just don't worry about any of that stuff. Just take the opportunity to build a business, be an entrepreneur, because entrepreneurship is the cure for the economic woes of the world today. And there's a lot of ways to make money, guys. There's so many things you could be selling today that people want. I happen to be selling solar, but that's just one of a trillion different things you could be selling. And I would just encourage you to get busy doing that. So at any rate, guys, I think this is going to be a short episode today. I don't have a guest. Just wanted to encourage you, though, if you're making those long-term goals, those 5-year goals, make sure they're not lazy goals. And maybe you might want to reevaluate and make that 5-year plan a 1 or a 2-year plan and get busy doing it now. This is Jesse Brower on the tuition-free School of Entrepreneurship show. And that's all I've got for today. Thanks, and I hope you're having a great day.